What's up guys, Ryan here from MudGunner, and today I have an exciting product to share with you and one that I'm very excited to use. We have the suppressor cleaning kit from Breakthrough Technologies. Now, this was provided to me by them. I got it at SHOT Show, so I just want to put that out there, but that's not going to change the fact whether this works or not because you guys are going to see it along with me. So I'm excited for this. For those of you that don't know, I'm pretty big into running suppress guns. I like them a lot. And as far as suppressors goes, I would say most of my rifle cans don't really need to be clean. Like there's such high pressure, they don't get as dirty as some other stuff. So I'm gonna do this video in a couple different ways. So I have this kit here at home that was provided to me. We have another kit at the shop that I work at. And at the shop we have a police trade-in suppressor that is about 20 years old. It's a Gemtech M402. It's had some use throughout its life. So I believe it's about a 20-year-old suppressor. So this is my plan. At home here, I am going to do two different cleanings. I'm going to do a 24-hour cleaning to see how well it works, and then a 12-hour cleaning to see how well it works on some pistol suppressors. I have some CGS cans here and some silencer coat cans. These ones have a pretty high round count, I would say, through them over the years, and pistol cans just get a lot dirtier than my rifle cans. So yeah, we're going to do a 12 and 24-hour cleaning to see how well it works at 12 hours, see how well it works at 24 hours, and then at the shop, with that 20-year-old rifle suppressor, it's a 5.56 direct thread, we are going to do a 48-hour cleaning on that one. Now, I talked to Breakthrough. They said you don't need 48 hours, but this is just my own personal test, so that's how I wanted to do it. So I did get to use one of these today. I busted it open. I'll show you guys the footage here in a sec, but yeah, we soaked that suppressor, and I will be back at that shop in 2 days to see how well it cleaned it out, basically. And I weighed it, too, so we can see how much of the lead or carbon buildup that it removes. So I'm excited for that. I will get to see that in 2 days. So this video is going to take me a few days to record, which is fine. But as of right now, today, I'm going to start the process on a 24-hour cleaning. And then after that process, I'm going to do a 12-hour cleaning. It's all going to be one video for you guys, just a few days for me. But yeah, I'm excited. So again, this is from Breakthrough Clean Technologies. It is a suppressor-specific cleaning kit. Now, I do want to say ultrasonic cleaners have been a thing for years. I just have no personal experience using an ultrasonic cleaner, but that's how a lot of people clean their suppressors as far as I know. So besides that, I've just tried to like scrub the baffles because my rifle suppressors, none of these, the baffles remove. So they're all like a fully welded suppressor. But on all these pistol suppressors and some of my other ones, all the baffles can come out. So it makes it easier to clean, but they are still a pain to clean, if that makes sense. It's very hard to scrape all the carbon off. It just gets caked on there. So I'm really hoping this can make these like basically be brand new again, bring them back to life, but they still work good. So this is just what I'm gonna do to test them. So let me get the camera set up closer. I'll bust this open for you guys. We'll start the 24-hour cleaning here, and then after this, I will show you the footage I recorded today at work. All right, we're gonna pop the kit open now. And yeah, again, this is a really cool kit. The price is fairly affordable. It's just under 50 bucks, or it should be under 50 bucks. And yeah, I think as long as it works good, I think that's a pretty good value for being able to clean your suppressors really well. So you got this hard tray, it's a plastic tray. You got the tube that you're gonna put your suppressor in, or your baffles. You have the cleaner, which you can buy more cleaner, so you don't have to just buy a whole kit to get the cleaner. You could buy, I think you can even buy bigger bottles, which is cool. So you got the cleaner here. I believe you can buy these tubes by themselves too, which is awesome because I'd like to have like multiple trays of these. Like if this works good, I'd like to have 5 trays and 10 tubes. I just think that'd be really cool to clean a bunch of suppressors at once. And then you have your grabber. So this is going to be able to grab suppressors or baffles out there without dipping your hands in there. And then you have this plug, which I used at the store today. And then you have brushes for either, I believe, suppressor tubes, or let's say you have a quick detach rifle suppressor, which I have right here. This will clean just like the mounting area on the inside where the muzzle device would be. This is not meant for going in between the baffles. This is just meant for the empty space in the suppressor right here. So yeah, don't try to shove that in your baffles. So yeah, that's what the kit comes with. You got a nylon brush, and this looks like a steel brush. You have the grabber and then a plug. You can get plugs on Amazon. They're called Cerakote plugs, and they make a bunch of different sizes. So depending on your suppressor, you can buy more plugs, because I don't know how reusable they are. The suppressor that I cleaned at the store today, I plugged it so that I don't fill up the whole tube. I just try to fill up the suppressor, and it seems to be working well. So next up, we got to take apart a couple of my pistol suppressors. Now, I don't know how I want to do this, because I'm not dumping the whole suppressor in there. I'm just going to dump the baffles in there. So I'm going to think about how I want to do this, because I think my plan is, remember I said I want to do a 24-hour cleaning, which is going to be the first one, and then I want to do a 12-hour cleaning, and then I think for the 12-hour cleaning, after the 12-hour cleaning, I want to do another 12-hour cleaning with the same liquid. I want to filter it through like a coffee filter because I heard you could do that. And I want to see how well it cleans a second suppressor even though the fluid's already dirty. I talked to Breakthrough about this. They said you can maybe do it one more time, but they don't recommend it. Again, this is just for my test. I want to do a pretty thorough test on this for you guys just to see what it's all about. So I think to start the test, we should clean the silencer co-suppressor first. So I think I'm going to do this one. This is my 9mm can, or we could do the 45 can. Let's see. I think we'll use this mini CGS can. This is the Kraken subcompact, also called the Mod 9 SK now. I think we'll do this for the reused fluid. So we'll use that one later. And I say, let's do maybe 2 of these for the 24-hour soak and then 1 for the 12-hour soak. If the baffles come out and fill up that thing. Because I only have this 1 bottle of fluid to work with here. So yeah, I won't talk anymore. Let's see. So we'll take this suppressor apart. Should be fairly simple. My cap is already loose right here. And this is going to be pretty nasty, I assume. I haven't taken this can apart in a while. I hate cleaning the baffles and suppressors, not going to lie. Well, it's no longer going to fall out freely, so we're going to have to push it from this side. And I wonder if we can also, well, I assume we can also just throw the piston in there too. It does have an O-ring. I don't know if that'll ruin the O-ring. So I know all of this is going to be pretty nasty in here. All right, so there's that. See, this doesn't even want to come out. It's all caked in there. There we go. So pretty dirty. Now I have to try to push these baffles out because they're not falling out freely. There we go. So let's see. So that's what they look like. Not the greatest, but not the worst. I thought it'd be a little worse. I have cleaned these in the past just by scrubbing them, but yeah. And the other thing is, let's say I took these apart right now, putting these back on would be a nightmare. You'd have to like beat them on because it's all dirty right there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a mallet and I'm going to tap these so they break apart easier because they're just kind of stuck. So let me go grab a mallet and I'm going to tap these apart. I don't own a mallet, so I'm just going to use this hammer, but I'm going to use this side of the hammer because it's rubber. So we're going to just do some light taps here, and you see. That is on there. Dang, that one is like on there. I don't want to like bend it. Let me see. All right, so we got a couple free there. There we go. I think I just need to attack it from the front. So like it right there. Because I don't want to bend them. There we go. So got all the baffles out. This is, oh, the front baffle is locked in here. This is supposed to be separate. Oh, it's coming out. There we go. So that's all nasty. Should I throw that in there too? I don't know. We'll see. Let's see how much space I have if I throw all these in here. Because I really want to utilize the liquid as best as I can. So, and you see, so this part of the baffle is dirty, and then so is the inside there. So that is the goal, to get it as shiny as we can around the whole thing. Oh, this is going to take up a lot of space right off the bat. Trying to think if there's a better way to go about this. I'm going to throw these in here for now. Throw all of it in there. And then let me see. I might just try to throw this smaller CGS can in there too and see if I can fit all of them in there. I need my tool. I have my little suppressor kit right here with all the tools for disassembly. So right here, this just pops on and now I can twist it off. Part of owning suppressors too is keeping all your tools in order because they all take different tools, which is kind of annoying, but I understand. Okay, so let's see how nasty this one is. Oh, I got some of them out. Dang it. this part's going to be a little bit more caked on. Okay, so the quick way to take this off is to tri-lug it on a gun and then twist it off the gun, which I need to go grab a tri-lug gun, so give me 1 second. All right, so I got my MP5 here. We're going to tri-lug the suppressor on there, so it just presses down and twists, and now I should be able to take it off. Oh, taking the front part off. There we go. I'm curious, what happens when we take this off? I've never taken this part off. Any day now. Okay, so that's just the tube. I've never taken that off. This is normally supposed to stay on there because this is your NFA info right here, just on that threaded piece. And then this comes off right there. So the mounts are supposed to come off, but that part I don't think is supposed to come off. That's your suppressor. Because now you just like, you have everything apart. But yeah, this is supposed to stay on here, so. So there's the can. And then now this piece pushed down, which it's going to be tough right there. There we go, and pop that off. So that's how you would take it off a tri-lug mount. So baffle-wise, we don't have much to work with here. And this mount is one solid piece. I don't think I'm going to throw that in there for now. But I would like to get these baffles in there. So it's just a little 3-baffle suppressor, but this is a really quiet suppressor. It works good. I'm going to try to rearrange this and see if I can get it a little bit lower, and I will show you guys. Let me just show you guys some befores. So here is the 3 baffles on the CGS suppressor, and this is going to be the 24-hour soak. So inside it's pretty dirty. I know you can't tell, the light's facing the wrong way, but it is pretty dirty on the inside there, dirty on the outside. So that's the CGS suppressor. Here's the before on some of the Silencer Co. baffles. Again, it's pretty dirty in there. It's hard to clean the inside here. You can scrape the outside if you spray it and let it soak for a bit, but the inside is much harder to clean. So I'm hoping this will just eat away all that carbon in there. All right, I do believe this is going to be the best way to do this. And looking at it, this is basically going to fill the whole thing. So the reason why I'm doing it this way is because I can't fit 2 suppressors in there, and I don't think there's any point to clean these tubes. I can just brush the inside of the tubes. So yeah, I wanted to show you guys that. I don't know if this is going to be the best way to go about it. In the instructions here, it does say fully submerge the entire suppressor. And again, what I did at the store is I put the entire suppressor in there and filled the suppressor up, and I plugged the bottom. But for this, I'm just thinking that's how we're going to go about it. But this may not be the best way, but this is how I'm going to do it. And yeah, we'll see if there's enough fluid here to fill the whole thing. So we'll stick that right there, and we'll bust this open, and I'll have to get some more to do the 12-hour cleaning, but that's okay. So this will be in here for 24 hours. This is already like wet and falling apart, it looks like. All right, let's pour this in here. So I think it would have been a little nicer to get a bottle that filled it all the way to the top, but that's okay. Won't hold it against them. So yeah. And I'll have to look up and see how much this cleaner is. I'll put the price of just a bottle of cleaner in this video for you guys. I accidentally dropped part of that in there. Let's take that out. But there we go. So I'll show you guys what this looks like in an hour, and we'll see how much it does. But yeah, for now, I'm going to just seal it. It does have a rubber seal, and it says do not over tighten, so I'm not going to over tighten it. I don't know if it says to shake it up. Let me double check. I don't think you would need to shake it up, but obviously that top one's not going to get very clean up there. So completely submerged suppressor, soak, do not over tighten cap. It says 6 to 24 hours. You have your tool to pull the whole suppressor out, rinse suppressor, and then wipe dry. It says remove excess water and fouling with compressed air and or shooting several rounds supersonic is recommended through the suppressor to eject the loosened fouling. Well, this is what we're going to do. So yeah, looks pretty sick. Just got baffles in a bottle. So I will bring you guys back in about an hour. It is 8:30. I'll show you guys this at 9:30. Okay, it's an hour later. Let's see. Oh, I already see some particles. See those particles floating in there? Nice. I know it's very reflective, but that's actually not bad. It looks like a coffee. We're brewing some cold brew. It's more like room temperature brew, but look at all the particles in there. That's pretty good. And that's just after an hour. Oh, wow. Yeah, look at that. Look at how shiny that is. That's cool. Sweet. Okay, so far I'm impressed. I still would like more fluid from one kit because this is just one cleaning for 2 suppressors. I did not put all these little parts in there. I could have, but you see, we're just barely above the liquid there. But yeah, I mean, so far you can just see it. I wanted to focus a little better. You can just see it eating that away. And the fact that I'm not gonna have to scrub that off is a very good feeling, because that stuff sucks to scrub off. But cool, so far so good. We still have a whole nother 23 hours to go. So let's see what happens tomorrow. All right, guys, it is the next day, and looking at this, it looks very interesting. So if we look at the top right here, we can see a lot of that stuff has come off. But if we look at this baffle right here, it's all still on there. So I'm curious, same thing right there. That one's cleaned up a little bit. That one, you see part of it's on there. I'm curious how well this is gonna wipe down. But look at that, that looks like crystal clear. So you can see all the particles floating around. We have our suppressor cold brew here. So, and then yeah, this stuff up top didn't really like get super submerged, but I can see some of it has fallen off. So it'll be interesting to see here. And yeah, I don't exactly know what to expect. I think it'll wipe down pretty easy. That's my guess. This is going to be very messy too. So I got some paper towels here, and then let's see, I got paper towels right here. I got a coffee filter here because I want to filter the liquid, and we're going to soak some more stuff for 24 hours. So I got these 2 bottles right here for that. But yeah, let's just take this out piece by piece. We got the little grabber here. So here's the first one. I'm going to just lay them right here. This tray is going to get dirty, so it doesn't matter. Spring's not looking terrible. I also don't have gloves. I should probably buy some gloves for stuff like this, but it's okay. So let's see how this one wipes down. Let me grab a paper towel real fast, and let's just see how well this wipes off. Oh, wow. Look at that. That's cool. Okay, ready? You see that stuff right there? Oh, yeah. That's a piece of cake. Probably no brushing required, but that is nice. Still going to be messy, so I didn't want to use like one of my gun rags because it's just going to make it pitch black. I'd rather just use some of these paper towels to get the bulk of it. But yeah, that is wiping right off. Now let's try the inside here, which the inside, as you can tell, is very dirty as well. Oh yeah, it's just like a black smudge basically. So very nice. I am impressed with that. I felt a little bit of resistance. I don't have my flashlight with me, and then my phone is hooked up to this. So I felt a little bit of resistance on that side. Let's see, does it scrape off? So that is still actually in there well, but I'm curious, was this one of the fully submerged ones? I think it was. But it's drying off pretty fast too, so I don't know how fast you'd have to wipe this down. Not that it's gonna get like carbon stuck back on there, but not bad. Not bad at all. And this will make it completely usable again. Like, not that it wasn't usable before, but it's not like you're gonna need the can to be crystal clear, because the second you shoot it, it's just gonna get dirty again. But the main part is gonna be like the inside of the ring here, because the inside of this ring mounts to the outside of the next ring. So yeah. Yeah, so some of it's still caked on there, you can see, like just the harder piece of carbon. But I think if I brush in there, that'll be good. And I'll probably do most of that off camera. So I'm gonna just pull these out, and let's see. So this one, oh my gosh, this is a whole different color. Look at that. Oh, you can't even see. I gotta get it in the camera frame. So Wow. I don't remember when I first got this suppressor if it was like this silver. But that is wiping off nicely. So look at that streak in there. Let's see. Gone. That's crazy. They're all looking pretty good. Even the piston itself, let's see how easy that wipes down. So you guys who have these know how caked on that stuff gets. Let's see, does it wipe right off? Yes, it does. That's cool. Even the front right here, let's see. Oh yeah, piece of cake. That color change is insane because they all started off as like this like copper-ish color. I doubt that would hurt it, and yeah, I don't know. I just every time I pull them apart, I know they're like this copper color. So this one's still got a good amount on the outside right there. I mean, you guys just see that this is wiping off like nothing, just letting it soak for one day. That suppressor at the shop, I'm curious how that's going to look tomorrow because it's been sitting there since Tuesday. Today's Wednesday. I'm going to see it tomorrow, Thursday, and I bet it's going to lose some weight from all the fouling coming out. Can't see very well. Very impressed with this. That's cool. And I'll be more impressed if I get a couple uses out of it. We have the, what's it called? The CGS baffles at the bottom. I'm curious how those look. Because these are all the silencer co-baffles. This one still has some coloring, some of that bronze coloring. Let's see if it wipes off though. No, did not wipe off. So that's interesting. So it kept its copper coloring here. Interesting. You guys should probably wear gloves for this, I'm just saying. I know I don't have them on, but would probably recommend. Dang it. As far as coffee goes, this is not looking like bad coffee either. And I'm totally joking. This is not for consumption. I think a slightly longer tool would have been a little nicer, but it's okay. I mean, here we go. This is that front one. Looking pretty good. I'm gonna pour some of this out. We don't need this bottle here. Will this fit there? Hey, a generic water cup fits in there. All right. We'll see how well this works. Probably not very well. See, it's filtering it, but I don't know how much big debris is gonna come out of it. All right, so I got everything wiped down, and as you could tell, we got a little bit of powder residue left in there, or like just all the nastiness from that. It's a big old pile down there. So I'm gonna rinse this out. I used these coffee filters, and this took some time. Yeah, but they're pretty nasty. As you can tell, there's a lot of like carbon fouling in there too. And this is what we got out of that. So pretty nasty. I have a feeling it'll still clean decently. This part that did not get fully submerged, yeah, the inside of this is still pretty dirty and it's still stuck on there. So I'm gonna soak that in that nasty water. And then same thing with the spring. It like kind of wiped down, but not really. All the baffles came out pretty much crystal clear. So let me show you guys these. Some discolored. So you'll notice, see how this still has like that copper hue? That's how they all came out. Some of them are now like just full stainless color. And then as far as the CGS baffles goes, those are still just black. So these are a different material altogether. I don't know the material off the top of my head, but yeah, these held up really well. It's kind of more annoying to clean, but what I did was I took this Glock takedown tool and then I took a patch and I just spun it around there and cleaned it out. And you can tell like the patches are still coming out pretty nasty, but they were all super easy to wipe down. So you notice like this is where your round is going through the hole right here. It is pretty clean. So I mean, there's probably just like that normal erosion from the round and powder hitting it. But other than that, it's pretty clean. This all lines up perfectly. This one is the blast baffle, so it's a heavier material than these ones, like it's noticeably heavier. And you see that takes the blunt of the force right here, but it's still held up really good. Cleaned off very nicely. And then piston wise, that cleaned up really nicely. Like right in between the teeth here, I didn't wipe it down too hard. I could probably scrub it and get a little more out, but honestly, that's going to be completely functional. And then again, all the baffles came out good. There was just one. Let me see if I can find it. There was one where it did not get perfectly clean on the inside. So it's this one right here. So you notice, see how there's still some carbon in there or some fouling. I'm not going to fault that against it. Maybe it just didn't sit properly in there, or maybe there was like an air bubble, because all the other ones, and you see this is one of the more bronzish ones. Here's another bronze one, or copper color, whatever you want to call it. But it cleaned up nicely in basically all of these. So it cleaned at like 95%, which I think that's pretty good. Again, like this is something that gets nasty within one range trip. So I'm going to call that a win. As far as the liquid goes, I think we'll get like one more cleaning out of that. It's not going to be a great cleaning, but I'm going to throw these parts in there and something else. I got to figure it out. But yeah. And then as far as the tubes goes, I'm just going to scrub these tubes from the inside. Not tonight, but yeah, I'll do that. And then the baffles will just slide back in there. But I mean, these will just go right in. No problem. And yeah, they didn't go all the way in because I got to turn it. But you get my point. So very cool that this worked out pretty well in 24 hours. I'm curious to see how the rifle suppressor is going to look tomorrow after 48 hours, because that's the 20-year-old can. Now this is kind of stuck on the debris in the suppressor. So yeah, this is all nasty on the inside there. So I'll pop that out in a second. But yeah, let me clean this tube real fast, and then we're going to pour the fluid back in with some other suppressor parts. All right, I say let's see how well it does on this Octane 9. So I did the Octane 45 first, and we're going to do the Octane 9 next. I'm curious how dirty this one is. Let's see. That one came out pretty easy. Let's take a look at these. So you see, all copper color. Ooh, that one's looking a little nasty right there. See some pretty decent buildup. This is also going to soak for about 24 hours. Interesting. I'm going to have to tap it. Oh, no, it's popping off pretty easily. Okay, so you see, noticeably dirty. We're going to just pop these in there. Popping off pretty easily. Cool. So let's see. Are these the exact same size? They look to be the exact same size. This is the 45 one, that's the 9 one. I might just soak the 9 one for now and then redo the 45 one later. But let's pour our science experiment into here now. Okay, get your guys' view. Oh, I see some of the leftover stuff. So you can see it in there floating. There's like actual like particles. Right, this one's next. Let's have enough to fully submerge that. Come on. Barely. All right. Just enough to fully submerge that. And then let me see if I can squeeze in the piston itself. Which, where did I put it? Oh, wait, that's wrong one. Got too many tubes everywhere now. So let's try this one. We're going to just take this out and throw that piston in there too, because I bet it's pretty nasty. Yeah, pretty nasty, but let's see. Please fit. Yeah, just barely. Cool. Well, we're gonna let that soak for another day. Trying to see if I can arrange it so it'll like fully submerge in there. There we go. Okay. Fully submerged. And even though it's dark, I really do think it's gonna take some of it off. So cool. We'll let that soak for a day and I will bring you guys back to it. But you see what it did to the other baffles with clean suppressor fluid. So let's see what it does with some not so clean suppressor fluid. All right, we're gonna bust open this breakthrough suppressor cleaning kit and we are gonna see what it does to this old school Gemtech M402 suppressor. It's probably a 20-year-old suppressor and we're gonna let it soak for 48 hours. You don't need to do 48 hours, but we're gonna do it for 48 hours and see what it does. We're gonna start off by seeing how much it weighs as of right now, because as we remove the material from there, it should get lighter. So it weighs 19.21 ounces. We'll do that one more time, make sure nothing is interfering with this. So one more time. So 19.21 ounces. So let's see 48 hours from now what it's gonna weigh. So I don't know whether I just wanna fill the whole tube and stick the can in there or try this plug that they ship with, plug the bottom and then just fill it from the top or from I guess the base down. That way it'll use less of the solution. But I'll play with it and see. But I like that they offer that. You can also buy Cerakote plugs apparently, and those will work too. And they make a bunch of different sizes of the Cerakote plugs, and they sell those on Amazon for pretty inexpensive. All right, so it is plugged. Hopefully it stays. Don't mind the barking dog in the background. I'm gonna try to pour this in here, and if it works, then I'll just gently put the suppressor in the tube. Here we go. Oh, filled up pretty fast. All right, so now we'll put that in there. Looks like we have room to pour a little bit more in there. All right, it looks full. We'll let it sit and see what it does, and it's gonna sit for the next 48 hours. If it goes down lower, then I'll put more in there, but we'll let it sit for the next 48 hours. Boom. And we only use that much liquid for that suppressor, so that's pretty cool. You can get a couple uses out of that. All right, it has been over 48 hours, and as we can tell, the fluid is still at the top, which is good. The plug held up pretty well. So just a little bit of seep out, and that was probably from when I was pouring it as well. So I'm very curious to see how well this did in 48 hours. So let me get this set up. All right, I think my plan is to pick it up and unplug it from the bottom and just let it drip out in here. Got our little tool, which of course is not gonna fit very well in here because it's direct thread. Okay, got that. Wonder if I can just knock it out the bottom. No, let me just pull it. I'm trying to do this for you guys to see, but just bear with me. Oh, there we go. Blue liquid. Cool. Well, that looks pretty nasty. Now I gotta rinse it out and see what we got out of here and weigh it. All right, we're gonna see how much nastiness came out of this. If there's any like giant flakes. No, it's just blue, but no giant flakes came out. So, not like the pistol suppressor. All right, I'm gonna just rinse this out. Hopefully you guys can see me, and then we're gonna let it dry. See how much stuff comes out of it. Probably not too much, but. And this is like a fully welded can. The front cap comes off, but I don't have the tool for that. I'll see if I can get it off. It was stuck when I tried. Well, I'm definitely not seeing any like giant chunks of like carbon or lead or fouling in there. Cool. Well, I will leave that. My phone's getting a little wet from this hose. All right, I dried it off as best as I can and wiped down as best as I can on the inside. Again, I don't really have easy access in here. Let's see what we are down to. 19.17. To be honest, I was expecting a little more because I think we started at 1921. Let's do that again. See, that's 0 right there. 1917. So we lost a little bit. I think that's decent, but considering, again, this is a 20-year-old suppressor, we might need to soak it a couple more times. But I'm going to just leave it at that. That was 48 hours, and we lost about 0.4 ounces. Or not 0.4 ounces, 0.04 ounces. Because, yeah, we started at like 1921, and we're down to 1917. So 0.04 ounces. I don't know what that translates to in grams, but, yeah, not terrible. But, again, just old suppressor. And that was 48 hours, or just over 48 hours, with the Gemtech. We lost just over a gram of fouling in there. All right, guys, another 24 hours has lapsed, so let's see what this stuff did on the second go around with this fluid. I have a feeling it still worked pretty decently. Did it get it all off? I'm not 100% sure, but we're gonna find out. Again, we're gonna have a big old mess here. Oh yeah, look at that. That already looks really good. Well, at least from the outside, but. We got that. Got the piston right here. Piston's looking pretty good. I know I'm kind of in your way, but just easy for me this way. Can't even see in there very well. All right, we got them all out, and it's kind of late at night, so I'm not going to dump this right now. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw that original piston from the 45 can, or not the piston, whatever you call this part, and then the springs to both cans. I'm going to just let them soak in there overnight because I will dispose of this fluid tomorrow, and again, I think it'll pretty much wipe it off pretty well. So, let's see. We're going to take one of these baffles. So, right there. See, it's got some of the dirt on it still, but does it wipe right off? Yes, it does. Not bad. So, still wiping off. You can see there's like a little bit of the stuff on there, but honestly, that just might be like burned into the can. I don't even think that's like carbon or whatever, carbon fouling, lead fouling. Yeah, and then let's see in here. So you see, it's got a lot of the black sludge on the side. How well does it wipe off? Need like a couple passes with it. The only downside is wiping all this stuff down, but it's the price to pay to not scrub it. Yeah, that's cleaning up really nicely in there. So that's pretty good. You get a couple uses out of it, other than it's really freaking nasty, and it's probably not great for you. Again, I just don't have gloves at the moment, but I will get gloves if I use this consistently. So it is wiping off in there. This is just going to take a little bit of time, like the last batch. Let's see, piston here. Oh yeah, it's just wiping off. So yeah, let me just wipe everything down, and yeah, I think that went pretty well the second time as well. I do want to show you guys this part real fast. Look at this giant piece that's just like hanging on for dear life right there. That's gonna like flake off. Watch this. Oh yeah. Do you see that? That's not even like sludge. That's like a hardened piece, and you see it right there. There's more of it. Let's see. Oh yeah. Now some of it, I use like this crushed brass as like a scraper. See, it's coming off pretty easily. I'm not having to apply a lot of pressure, but there is some chunks still on here, but that's still just making really easy work of those chunks on there. So very impressed. All right, guys, we are going to call it a wrap on the Breakthrough Suppressor Cleaning Kit. I know I said I was going to do a 12-hour cleaning, but it just ended up not working out for the way I wanted to do it. So I don't want to do it like the night before I go to bed and then do it before work in the morning. I ended up just doing 24-hour soaks, and I think you guys would probably end up doing the same. If not, I do think 12 hours would be fine too in most cases, but for me, I just kept doing 24-hour cleanings. Now, I did use that fluid a lot, just because it was the only bottle I had at home. I had the one at the shop, but that one wasn't mine. So the bottle I had at home, you guys saw, we used it all in the first little bit. So I just kept reusing the fluid, probably more than I should have, but it worked. So I got a lot of cleanings out of it. I was happy with it. And I'd say maybe a fluid, or coming with fluid that fills to the top, would be nice. I would say maybe a better grabber for baffles. Obviously grabbing the can is probably fine, but overall I'd say there wasn't anything that I felt was wrong with the kit. I like that you can add to the kit, which is cool, and it did do really good cleaning the pistol suppressors. Obviously I'm showing a bunch of rifle suppressors here, but honestly I think with rifle suppressors, as long as you clean the mounting surface, you're fine. You can do the long soak like what I did on that 20-year-old suppressor, and that would be fine. But yeah, for me, I think my main purpose for this cleaning kit is going to be my pistol cans, because they just get filthy much faster. But I want to thank you guys for watching. I know it's kind of a long video. It's just, it takes me time to clean those cans, and I assume you guys know that process too if you're watching this. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Breakthrough Technologies, for giving me the kit at SHOT Show. And yeah, I'll keep using it and getting some more fluid for it. But yeah, I was pretty happy with it. So thank you guys, and I will see you in my next video.